And now is the second question. I would like to introduce you to Jonathan Hurley and Michael Gregg.
Gentle.
Oh, sorry, Michael Gentle.
Liverpool Merseyside. I actually agree with Karen because when I was there, it was exactly the same and it should be better than that. And I forego with Karen with that too. We know that people want to be as independent as possible, to live, work and relax like everyone else does, but things get in our way that you can help remove attitudes, red tape and your policies and rules interfere with our lives. Rules that services make that get in the way of who we spend time with. If and where we work and who we live with. They are rules that best suit services, not like safeguarding is another issue. Is a word that we sometimes make things harder for us. I'll just put it one way, for example, safeguarding is an issue these days. It needs to be better than that. We do better than this as well.
Michael? Oh, you're there. Okay.
How can you ensure you have well-trained, motivated, quality staff who understand part of their job is to help us challenge the red tape and rules when they interfere with our lives, so that our supporters and services are being all-centred, giving us the choice of control everyone else has. This includes, when it comes to sex, children, family life and friends. No one really controls these bits of other people's lives. Why rules for us?
Mark, would you like to respond?
Thank you. Thank you for both those questions. Picking up on the first one, the point around red tape and rules, certainly in local government, and it will be true for NHS as well, we're very good at rules and we're very good at red tape. And it's something that we've done for a long, long time. Excuse me. But what often happens is, instead of people doing the right thing, they sometimes hide behind the rules. And the rules are a convenient way of actually saying no. When actually what you need to do as organisations, for us as organisations, there needs to be a leap of faith there to say, actually, if this is to do the right thing and we get the right outcomes for people, then the rules will need to change. And as things are changing within the NHS and within local government, those things are starting to happen. But just picking up the point around, I think Michael mentioned around training for staff and how do we ensure that we've got staff trained to understand how to promote people's choice and control, well, we need to make sure that people who are receiving services or people that care for people who are receiving services are part of that training, part of that understanding. Because if it is the case that we just talk to ourselves about how we think it's going to work and we don't talk to you, then we're not really going to give you the service that you deserve and the service that you want. The point around safeguarding, I think there's always a balance to be struck to make sure that your rights are promoted and that people aren't exploited. But it shouldn't go so far that you aren't able to enjoy the rights and responsibilities that everybody else has as a citizen.
Just very briefly, also from ourselves as part of the Winterbourne programme. One thing that we have been doing is working with providers in order to develop a guide, a core principles guide that we'd expect that all providers think about and all commissioners think about when they're commissioning local services. And that is around person-centred planning and thinking about the needs of the individual that service is providing. That incorporates the sorts of things that you've picked up on your question, and that is due to come out, all going well, at the end of this week and will be up on that website. So I think that will be a really good thing for local areas to be able to reinforce.
Yeah, and also I've said to Bill at the start of this programme, that we need to get someone from Skills for Care, and he's now getting someone seconded into that team. And we're also making sure that they're going to use user-led groups, self-advocacy groups involved in their training, because we know they're not right now. And we've told them this will change the attitudes, relationships between staff and people with learning disabilities, because staff don't respect people with learning disabilities. They only see them for what they care for in a lot of providers, and we want to change that image and change that attitude. And quickly answering the second one, I don't know if you've heard of Change in the Northwest, but Change is an organisation in Leeds, and they're working with Greenwich Advocacy, changing the world about parents being with learning disabilities, and they're working with directors across the country, and anybody can get involved in those campaigns and that work. And they've got a parent support network groups, and they've been working in the Northwest as well. Okay, thank you.
Also is what we need to do is get money back into our groups who are there to speak on our behalf, the self-advocacy groups, because I know groups are closing down right now to speak on our behalf.